This is just my first.
I bought codeine and Sprite. So gradually, she's feeling weak. So I strangled her to death.
She was just trying to finish her registration. That one simple task would lead 19-year-old Damilola Olowoyo straight into the hands of a predator hiding behind a friendly smile. And she never came home. Every year, thousands of young Nigerians pack their bags, say goodbye to their families, and step through the gates of a university campus for the very first time. Their hearts are full of excitement. Their eyes are wide open. They are ready to begin the best years of their lives. They want to study, make friends, grow, and build something great for themselves and for the people who love them. Damilola Olowoyo was exactly that kind of young woman. She was 19 years old, fresh out of secondary school, and had just gained admission into the Federal University Lokoja in Kogi State, Nigeria. She was a student in the Department of Biological Sciences, a girl with clear direction and a hunger to learn. To her parents back home, she was their pride. She was the future of the family. She was the one who was going to make it. But university campuses, no matter how full of life they appear, are not always safe. The truth is, not everyone who walks through those gates comes with honest intentions. Some come wearing masks. Some come with darkness hidden deep inside them, dressed up as kindness, as friendship, as someone you can trust. And it is exactly this kind of person that Damilola would meet during the very first weeks of her university life, before she even had time to fully settle in. In September 2024, Damilola was still going through the early stages of university enrollment. She was completing her registration, finishing her screening, and trying to find her footing on a new campus. Everything around her was unfamiliar. The buildings, the faces, the routines, all of it was new. In moments like this, a friendly face can feel like a lifeline. And that is exactly what Jeremiah Paul was offering. A friendly face, a warm smile, a helping hand. Jeremiah Paul was 20 years old at the time. He was from Chikon local government area in Kaduna State, and like Damilola, he was listed as a 100-level student at the Federal University Lokoja. In the university world, both of them were what students call freshers, new students still trying to figure out how everything worked. To anyone watching, there was nothing unusual about two young students getting to know each other in the early weeks of the semester. Jeremiah carried himself with confidence. He was eloquent. He knew how to talk to people. He seemed smart and social, the kind of person who could make you feel comfortable almost immediately. He approached Damilola one Sunday with the most basic and harmless-looking gesture, a simple conversation. He said hello. He was friendly. He expressed interest in knowing her better. Damilola, still adjusting to campus life and looking for people she could connect with, saw nothing wrong. She gave him her phone number. And just like that, the trap was set. What Damilola did not know, what no one around her could see, was that behind Jeremiah's confident smile was a deeply disturbing intention. He had not approached her to build a real friendship. He had not sat down to chat with her out of loneliness or a genuine desire for companionship. According to his own later confession to the Kogi State Police Command, Jeremiah Paul had already made up his mind before he ever said a word to Damilola. He had decided before approaching her that he was going to use her for a money ritual. Let that sink in for a moment. While Damilola was thinking she was making a new friend, Jeremiah was already calculating her end. He had connected with a so-called native doctor through TikTok. Yes, TikTok, the same app millions of young people use every day for videos and entertainment. This man, based in Ibadan, had promised Jeremiah wealth in exchange for human body parts. Jeremiah had even traveled to Ibadan with a friend to meet him in person. The native doctor had given him specific instructions. He had sent him a calabash, a knife wrapped in red cloth, and told him exactly what he needed to bring back. Jeremiah Paul had come to the Federal University Lokoja not to study. He had come to hunt. Damilola had no idea she was being watched. She had no idea that the messages she exchanged with Jeremiah, the small conversations, the growing familiarity, all of it was part of a plan designed to make her trust him enough to follow him somewhere. And the scariest part of this entire story is how normal everything looked from the outside. Two young students, chatting, walking around campus, looking like friends. That is all anyone would have seen. This is the nightmare no parent warns their child about clearly enough. Not the visible danger, not the obvious threat, but the danger that looks exactly like friendship.
Wednesday, September 4, 2024.
It was a day that started like any other for Damilola Olowoyo. She had no reason to think anything bad was about to happen. She had no warning, no sign, nothing that told her to stay home, to stay away, to say no when her phone rang and Jeremiah's name appeared on her screen. By this point, the two of them had been talking for about a week. Jeremiah had been patient, careful, and strategic. He had taken his time building her trust. He had made her feel comfortable. That is what made what happened next so devastating. It was not a stranger who hurt Damilola. It was someone she had already started to feel safe around. When they met that Wednesday, Jeremiah came prepared. He bought her a bottle of Sprite. It looked like a simple, kind gesture, the kind of thing any friend might do. He handed it to her, and to remove any suspicion, he first took a sip from it himself. He wanted her to see him drink from it. He wanted her to relax. What she did not know was that before he handed her that bottle, he had mixed a high dose of codeine into the drink. Codeine is a cough medication that, when taken in large amounts, causes a person to become drowsy, weak, and unable to think or move clearly. It is widely abused in Nigeria, especially among teenagers, because of its intoxicating effects. Damilola drank, and slowly the drug began to work. As she started feeling weak and dizzy, Jeremiah moved smoothly into the next stage of his plan. He suggested in a calm and caring tone that she come with him to his house to rest. In the state she was in, that sounded like a reasonable idea. She needed to sit down. She needed to feel better. And here was someone she trusted offering to help, so she followed him. But Jeremiah did not take her to his house. According to his confessional statement recorded by officers of the Kogi State Police Command, he led her instead to an uncompleted building very close to where he lived. It was a quiet place, a hidden place, a place where no one would hear anything. There, in that uncompleted building, Jeremiah Paul strangled Damilola Olowoyo to death. He used the very clothes she was wearing to tie her neck and her legs. Damilola, who had only wanted to make a friend, who had only wanted to settle into campus life, who had a whole future waiting for her, was gone. But the horror did not stop there. Following the instructions he had received from the native doctor in Ibadan, Jeremiah proceeded to dismember her body. He used a knife that had been sent to him specifically for this purpose. He removed her eyes, her tongue, her lungs, her intestines, and parts of her body. He placed these inside the calabash that the native doctor had provided. He then contacted the driver the native doctor had sent from Ibadan to Lokoja and handed over the calabash. The driver transported it back to Ibadan. This is the part of the story where you need to pause and really let it register. A 20-year-old young man, a university campus, a girl who just wanted to make friends, and all of this horror because someone promised him money if he brought human remains. Before we go any further, this channel needs your support. If you are watching this on Trem Crime Zone, please take 2 seconds right now and hit that subscribe button. Every week, this channel brings you real stories like this one, true crime cases from across Nigeria and beyond that the mainstream media often leaves incomplete or untold. These are stories about real people, real families, real communities. By subscribing, you are not just getting more content, you are joining a community that believes these stories deserve to be told fully, respectfully, and with the truth front and center. Click subscribe, turn on the notification bell. You do not want to miss what is coming next. Now, here is something that makes this case even more disturbing. Damilola's family had no idea what had happened to their daughter. She had simply stopped responding to messages. Her phone could not be reached. She did not come home. And then came a phone call that sent her parents into complete panic. The person on the other end of that call claimed that Damilola had been abducted. He demanded 10 million naira. Her parents were devastated. They pleaded with the caller. They begged. They negotiated. They did not have 10 million naira, but they gathered everything they could. Eventually, the ransom was brought down to 400,000 naira, and they paid it. They paid a ransom to the very person who had already ended their daughter's life. This detail is one of the cruelest parts of this entire case. While Damilola's family was desperately trying to save someone who was already gone, Jeremiah was collecting their money. He let them believe their daughter was alive, he took what they had, and he felt no remorse. Now, here is your challenge for the comment section. Write down the name of someone in your life, a parent, a sibling, a friend, who you know would drop everything if you call them right now in trouble. Just their name or their relationship to you, no full names needed. Just acknowledge them. Because Damilola had people like that too. People who loved her, people who would have done anything, and they never got the chance to help her in time.
When Damilola Olowoyo failed to show up at her posting location and could not be reached, the people around her began to worry fast. Her fellow corps members at the Ogun State Ministry where she had been assigned noticed her absence almost immediately. But wait, Damilola was a student at the Federal University Lokoja in Kogi State, and she was also registered with the National Youth Service Corps as part of Batch A 2017. These two details about her are confirmed by multiple sources, and her case quickly became more than just a missing persons report. The Commissioner of Police took the matter seriously. He assigned it directly to the State Intelligence Department. These were experienced officers trained to follow evidence no matter how hidden it might seem. They had one problem at the start. Damilola's phone was switched off. No signal, no location, nothing coming through. But phones leave traces even when they are turned off, and investigators working with the technical unit at the force headquarters began working through the records of Damilola's last known communication activity. They tracked who she had last been in contact with. They followed the digital footprints that most people do not even know they leave behind. And those footprints led them directly to one name: Jeremiah Paul. On September 11, 2024, exactly 1 week after Damilola was taken from this world, police operatives located and arrested Jeremiah Paul around the Felele area of Lokoja. He was not expecting to be found. He thought he had been careful. He thought collecting the ransom, disposing of the evidence, and going back to his regular life would be enough to keep him safe. He was wrong. When Jeremiah was brought in for questioning, he did not hold back for long. He gave a full confessional statement. He told the police everything: how he had met Damilola, how he had already planned to use her before he even spoke to her, how he had bought the Sprite and laced it with codeine, how he had walked her to the uncompleted building, how he had strangled her with her own clothing, and then in detail that shocked even seasoned investigators, how he had dismembered her body and handed the remains over to a driver sent from Ibadan. The police went to the location Jeremiah described. They found what was left of Damilola Olowoyo in a shallow grave near the uncompleted building in Lokoja. Her remains had already begun the process of decomposition. It was a scene that no officer should have to witness and no family should ever have to hear described. 3 other suspects were also paraded alongside Jeremiah at the Kogi State Police Command headquarters in Lokoja. They were Emmanuel Otitoju, Barnabas Olugbenga, and Ajayi Basit Ayomide. Investigators revealed that one of these suspects had actually been the first person to approach Damilola with the same intention, to use her for ritual purposes. However, according to police, this person withdrew when he could not meet certain requirements. Jeremiah Paul then stepped in to take his place. This detail reveals something even darker. There was more than one person on that campus willing to harm an innocent young woman for the promise of wealth. The police public relations officer, Superintendent William Aya, addressed the press at the parade of the suspects. He made it clear that this was a premeditated crime. Jeremiah Paul had not acted on impulse. He had planned, prepared, and executed it with deliberate intention. The SP also appealed to parents, students, and the public to be careful about who they allow into their circles, especially on university campuses. He said something that stayed with many people who heard it. You may be seeing somebody as a human being, but he is not. That statement is haunting because it describes exactly the kind of person Jeremiah Paul was. He looked human, he acted human, he smiled, chatted, and blended in. But inside, he had already decided that another person's life was a tool he could use and discard. Another challenge for the comments. At this point in the story, write this phrase in the comments: Damilola deserved better. Let her name be seen. Let it be known. Let the algorithm push this story to more people so that her story continues to educate and protect others.
Write it right now before you forget. The investigation also brought attention to a deeply troubling trend: the role of social media, specifically TikTok, in connecting desperate young people with so-called native doctors who offer wealth in exchange for human sacrifice. Jeremiah Paul himself admitted that he had found the native doctor on TikTok. He had copied the number, messaged him on WhatsApp, and even traveled physically to Ibadan to meet with him before committing the crime. This is not an isolated case. Law enforcement officials across Nigeria have noted a growing pattern of young men using social media to access ritual networks. It is a crisis hiding in plain sight, scrolled past daily by millions of users.
Jeremiah Paul was formally arrested and remanded in prison custody while awaiting trial. Under Nigerian law, the charges against him were extremely serious. For the taking of a life alone, the punishment can be death. For the ritual dismemberment of a human body, for the extortion of a grieving family while already knowing their daughter was gone, the law has no light penalties. Jeremiah Paul, by his own confession, had committed a crime that touched on almost every level of what the legal system considers most severe. The three other suspects, Emmanuel Otitoju, Barnabas Olugbenga, and Ajayi Basit Ayomide, were also being investigated, and the Kogi State Police Command stated clearly that all four would be arraigned once the investigation was fully concluded.
That is the part of this story that demands we sit with it for a moment. Because Damilola did nothing wrong. She accepted a friendly conversation. That is all. She did what billions of people do every single day without incident. The problem was not her behavior. The problem was the monster wearing the face of a friend. This case holds several lessons, and they are not small ones. They are the kind of lessons that, if we take them seriously, could genuinely save lives. First, trust must be built over time, not given instantly. A new environment, a new campus, a new city, a new workplace, there is often pressure to connect quickly, to find your people, to belong. That pressure is real and understandable, but it can also make us lower our guard faster than we should. Damilola's story reminds us that familiarity is not the same as safety. Jeremiah knew how to seem familiar. He knew how to seem safe. Real trust takes time to earn. 1 week of chatting is not enough to follow someone somewhere isolated. Second, location matters enormously when it comes to safety. The moment someone suggests moving from a public place to a private or remote one, especially early in a relationship or friendship, that is the moment to pause and ask questions. It is okay to say, "I'd rather stay here." It is okay to say no. It is okay to leave. Always tell someone where you are going and who you are going with. Third, the internet is not just entertainment. It is also a tool for those with bad intentions. The fact that Jeremiah Paul found a ritual network through TikTok and carried out his planning over WhatsApp is a serious warning. Parents, educators, and young people themselves need to understand that these networks exist online and that they prey specifically on young people who are desperate for money and willing to listen to dangerous promises. The platforms have a responsibility, so do we. Fourth, report early. The moment Damilola was unreachable, they escalated the situation. Because of that, the investigation began quickly. Because of that, Jeremiah was caught within a week. Early reporting saved the investigation and brought clarity to her family faster. If you know someone who has gone missing or seems in danger, do not wait. Report it. Fifth, and finally, mental health and the obsession with quick wealth is a genuine crisis among Nigerian youth, and it needs to be addressed loudly and consistently. Jeremiah Paul was not born a killer. At some point, he made choices fueled by desperation, greed, and a community of influences that told him there was a shortcut to success. That community exists online. It exists in certain neighborhoods. It exists in conversations that glorify money without work. Every adult, every school, every family has a role to play in countering those messages before they take root in young people who do not yet know better. Damilola Olowoyo deserved to graduate. She deserved to work. She deserved to build the life she was so clearly determined to build. And every single young woman and man on a university campus right now deserves the same chance to do exactly that, safely.
Met her on Sunday, so I approached her, I talked to her, I collected her phone number, so we started chatting. So I told her whenever she's free, she should let me know. So I already had it on mind that I'm going to use Damilola, so I bought codeine and
For what?
ritual. So I bought codeine and Sprite and mixed it up. So I gave it to her because I first drank it so that it don't look like I mixed something inside. So I told her she should follow me so that we should go over to my place. So when I get close to my house where I live, there was an uncompleted building. So we kneeled on the wall, we were just talking. So gradually she's feeling weak. Gradually. So I took her to the uncompleted building. So I strangled her to death. The knife I used to remove the part of her body, which is the eyes, tongue, lungs, intestine, and some part of her ass. So I put it inside the calabash and I wrap it. So I give it to the driver, which he sent from Ibadan here to Lokoja. So he will bill it back to Ibadan.
This story is one that every Nigerian, every parent, every student, every young person needs to hear. If this video reached you, please do not keep it to yourself. Share it with someone you care about. Share it with a student you know. Share it in a group chat, on your status, anywhere that another person might see it and think twice before following someone they barely know to an unknown location. And if you are watching this on Trem Crime Zone and you have not yet subscribed, please do it now. This channel exists to tell these stories, not to shock you, not to entertain at the expense of victims, but to make sure that real people who lost their lives in real ways are not forgotten. Every story on this channel is built on research, on facts, and on a genuine commitment to the truth. Subscribing takes 2 seconds. Damilola's story took 19 years to build and less than a day to be stolen. Subscribe, share, and in the comments below, tell us what part of this story affected you the most. Tell us what you think should change. Tell us what you would say to Damilola's family if you could. Your voice matters, your thoughts matter, and together on this channel, we will keep telling these stories until they stop happening. Thank you for watching Trem Crime Zone. Stay safe, stay alert, and always, always trust your gut.